Right, welcome to part three. Sorry about part two. I don't know what happened there, Terry. Power cut.
Hey, there you go. They're trying to silence you, Russ.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, mate. Everybody and the dad round there is wired up to lampposts. So they might have just turned it off just to get everybody a breather. Because if you were to fly over around where I live with an helicopter, all you see in people's lofts are big glows.
That's all you want to see.
Yeah, there's no wrong with that, is there? Bit of greenery. But yeah, you were saying about Johnny Nelson. I don't reckon his CV's that good to be Hall of Fame and MBE, but he's been around boxing that long.
No.
He probably deserves his MBE, doesn't he?
And like a lot of stuff he does behind the scenes in the community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Johnny's one of those good boxing people. And like, I think I said it before we got cut off. If you look at those guys he fought, Dennis Andrews, Peter Obo, Carl Thompson, even Michael Murray, those are hard men, Russ. They're hard men.
They're like Sanderline Williams types, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not those sorts of people like you're seeing now. You know? These are hard men that you have to chip away at. You're not one punching those guys. You're not. You got to chip away at them.
It's like Fraser Clark gets a lot of credit, doesn't he, for beating Dave Allen, but that wasn't the Dave Allen of 2017, were it?
And Dave Allen's no Dennis Andrews.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? He's not Dennis Andrews, because Dave's a guy that can take a lot. Dennis Andrews could take a lot and give a lot.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. So it is what it is, isn't it? But
and think about it, right? How many times do you hear guys like John Fury talk about being real fighting men? And there's Johnny Nelson right there, a real fighting man.
Yeah, Johnny Nelson's a proper fighter, isn't he? British and European champion twice, and world champion for 7 years. That's not bad going, is it, from Johnny?
No, what would we give now to have a guy who could hold a world title for 7 years?
Well, this is what I'm saying out the whole part of that question. I can only find 7 guys from the UK that have actually won 10 or more world championship fights. There's only 7 that we can find. So is there any more?
What was someone like a Ken Buchanan?
Well, I don't know. You have to go through it all, wouldn't you? But like I said, we've only found 7 men from UK that have actually won 10 or more world championship fights. I know Joshua's won 9, hasn't he? And I don't count them WBO fights Ricky Hatton had.
Or the WBF ones.
Yeah, we don't count them. But I just think that maybe we need to get some world champions and let them just hone the craft and keep hold of the belt. I mean, they mind all this. When we get to February, Terry, in February, that's 100 months since Fury fought Wilder. So he'll have had 10 fights in 100 months, and then he's going into his 11th fight in his 101st month. And then is that it?
100, wait, hold on, 100 months?
Yeah, how? Fury, it's 100 months since Vladimir in February, right?
That's nearly 10 years.
No, 10 years, 120 months, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's 20 months off. That's like 8.5 years.
Yeah, so it's eight in a couple of months, isn't it? It works out at, right, 8 year, 2 months, in it. So what's that? How many months is that? 8, 12, so 96, aren't they? Add 2, it's 98 in it. So we're getting on for 100 months, aren't we? So if Fury fights every 10 months, right?
Okay.
How can he shout and ball when you had Ali fighting four times a year and Mike Tyson? Fury's fighting every 10 months and shouting and balling in between, putting weight on and carrying off. And his camps, when he gets in them, are basically to take the weight off, aren't they? They're not to get fight fit. They're just to look reasonably aesthetically good for night, aren't they?
Just to get that full blancmange effect, Russ.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's what they're trying to do with Fury, isn't it, really? It's in front of us, isn't it, what's going on with Fury?
Look, they're just trying to get their money out of him. That's all this is. They're just trying to get their money out of him. This isn't about boxing. It's not about giving the fans what they want. It's about finding a way to get the most money out of the fans, and it's tapping out. How many times do I say this, Russ? The aim of boxing is to find people with money and to separate them from their money without having to give that much in return. That's all boxing is.
Yeah. So I just feel that as boxing fans, we're being shortchanged at the moment. So we've made a stance, haven't we? But they're now saying, look what we're giving you. Be grateful. We are grateful because you've been starving us for that long. And so anything's good, in it at the moment, because we have been starved, haven't we?
Exactly. So for me, I when people ask me these questions, I always say to them, you're going to watch any rubbish they put on TV. So what is their incentive to put anything decent on? None.
Yeah.
Yeah. If 250,000 people are as easily going to watch David Adelaide versus Fabio Wardley as they are, trying to even think. We don't have anyone that good. That's how crazy this is. Like I think the same number of people would watch Wardley versus Adelaide as they would Joshua versus Wallen, for example. I don't think there'd be that much difference in the viewership. Just boxing for you. We'll watch anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're
But
the problem. I think we are the problem.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, football doesn't have to deal with this problem, Russ, because you have a season and everyone knows what the season is at the beginning and everyone's happy with that. But if football has to do what boxing does, they'd realize very quickly a lot of the fans are just thick as two short planks.
You reckon?
Yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't be in this position. Everyone would have gone, well, if I don't watch it, they won't promote it. But instead, what do? We keep watching it no matter how bad it gets.
Oh, it gets bad, doesn't it?
That's terrible.
So what do you think's going to be answer then now moving forward? Is it going to be Saudi traipsing out to Saudi 4 times a year to pay top money?
So you can't do that because the Saudis don't need boxing 4 times a year. They just needed it for Riyadh season because there's no other spectacles they could put on that would be cheaper.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything else. It was like boxing's the cheapest thing we can do. We'll do it 3 times in Riyadh season. Eyes of the world. I mean, we can get it done. You know, we had Fury and Ngannou, which, whatever you think about the result, was one of the most talked about things for at least a week afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And so in everything you read, it said Riyadh, it said Saudi Arabia, it said Riyadh season. They made their money back on that. Probably unexpectedly, but they made their money back on that. So now they're going to do it again. You're going to have Joshua Wilder there. You're going to have Fury in attendance. You're going to have all the big heavyweights back again. They're going to do the same thing again. And then they'll do the big blow-off, which will be Fury versus Usyk. And then they don't need boxing for a while after that because there's no more star power.
What do you mean?
Like, once we've got an undisputed heavyweight, who cares anymore? The belts are going to get scattered, so that doesn't mean anything. Joshua won't fight Wilder next simply because Joshua's like, well, if the belts get scattered, I can fight for a world title. Now I'm a 3-time champion. So the Wilder fight won't even happen.
Do you think, Terry, that there's going to be some big, massive changes?
No, boxing hasn't changed in 50 years, Russ. Why would it change now?
No, I'm on about boxing going out to Saudi. What if they could keep that up for, say, 5 years, doing 4 shows a year out there? 20 shows in 5 years. They could easily do that. That'd be what? 100 fights in 5 years, wouldn't it? Yeah?
You're thinking like a boxing fan here. You got to think like a businessman, Russ. There
Right.
are only so many valuable properties in boxing, right? Undisputed heavyweight is one. Yeah. That's something the whole world can get behind. Joshua versus Wilder is another one that the whole world can get behind. After that, there's nothing. The Saudis don't care after that.
Yeah.
So there aren't 100 fights that the Saudis would want to put on. There are 2. And then if it became a question of, well, we can get Terence Crawford against Gervonta Davis, for example, that might happen in Saudi because That's probably the next big fight we'd like to see. Or Terence Crawford versus Canelo could happen in Saudi.
Yeah.
But
Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford, let me just jump in on him because somebody's just piped up and said, who's Terence Crawford beat who's a young gun? Well, didn't he do Ricky Burns when he was 30 in Scotland?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Look,
that's one. I don't know what rest we are having to go through his
no, well, so I understand his argument, right? Terence Crawford's record is one of those where there are a lot of guys who are brought up in weight to get beaten. There's no question about that. But I stand by this. People just didn't want to get beaten up by Crawford. That's why they found excuses not to fight him. I think his record is weak, not because he was scared, but because everyone else was scared.
Well, remains to be seen. But his record's fantastic, Crawford's, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't say fantastic, no.
No?
It's a good record. It's not fantastic because there aren't many of his peers that he's had a chance to fight. So you got to think about his age, right? So his peer group are people like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, etc., etc. He hasn't fought many of those guys.
Yeah, but Terence Crawford's, what is he, 40-0?
Mm-hmm.
He's 40-0 and he's a freeweight world champion, isn't he?
Right. So that's how you want to do this, in my opinion. People say Ndongo was a good win. Ndongo turned out to be as hollow as they come. Really strange that Ricky Burns lost to him. Ricky Burns must be kicking himself that he lost to Ndongo. Victor Postel, solid enough, not spectacular. Guys like Hank Lundy, solid. I think he fought John Molina. And then who's he fought at welterweight? Jeff Horn. That's not.
He's beat 18 world champions, Terence Crawford.
Right, no, you're hiding behind numbers, Russ. Who? Give me names.
Yeah, I know, I understand that, yeah, but he's kept a run going over three weight divisions, 40-0, 31 knockouts. So
he's got Khan and Brook when they were washed up on his record.
I understand that, but he can. Who is he supposed to fight then?
I just gave you two names, Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman.
He done Ray Beltram, didn't he? He done Ray Beltram. He done Thomas de Blame, Derry Jean, Yuri Orcus Gamboa, Ricky Burns. He done
okay, but Gamboa moved up, what, 1 or 2 weight classes to fight him. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
We can pick holes in all of them, can't we, really? Jeff
Well, no, wait. No. You said that someone wrote to you and said, who's his best win? And I said,
who's his best win? And I've just said to you, he's beat about 18 world champions. So
who's
out there 18.
Who's his best win, Russ?
Who's his best win on paper? You'd have to say Errol Spence, wouldn't you?
There you go. After that?
Errol Spence in an undisputed. That must be terrible to beat him. After Errol Spence, you'd say...
after that?
Well, a lot of them have got a bit of damage on the records, haven't they? Is that what he's trying to get at?
So that's what I'm saying to you. Now,
Kell Brook, 39-2. Is that damage fighting somebody 39-2?
Well, with 2 broken eye sockets, yeah.
I understand that, yeah, but what is that his fault?
We're not talking fault here, us. We're just talking reality.
Yeah,
as Porky likes to say, we deal in facts.
We're dealing facts, yeah, but Kell Brook were 39-2, and he was probably best welterweight we could offer him at the time from UK, am I right?
I don't know if that's a good thing. I think what I'd say on that one is Kell Brook had seen better days. Like, he had literally, he had seen better days.
Well, Amir Khan had seen better days. It was 3 years ago last week. So Kell Brook fought 3 years ago against Terence Crawford, yeah?
Right.
And at the time, he was 39-2. And he
and it was 3.5. Wait, and it was 3.5 years. I know you like your numbers, Russ. It was 3.5 years.
It was 3 years and a week ago.
No. It was 3.5 years after Errol Spence broke the other eye socket.
Oh, you're going on about that one, are you? Well, Errol Spence only broke half of one because Golovkin did 1.5 and Spence did half of that one that were repaired, didn't he?
Yeah,
Really.
but if you look at his record,
yeah, Kell's records. He had a bad few years with Frankie Gavin, Joe Dan, and Kevin Bizier. He was going around in circles
yeah.
from
So
14
for
to
me,
16,
look,
wasn't
let me say something absolutely clear. I think Terence Crawford is the best fighter of his generation in any weight class. Like,
Yeah.
he's the best of the post Mayweather guys, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I think the reason he hasn't got a better record is people avoided him. But if you want to compare records, there are boxers with better records. But I don't think those guys are better boxers than Crawford, is what I would say.
Yeah. Well, he's a good fighter. But
He's a great fighter.
who would you put at top pound for pound? Usyk, Crawford, or I know you?
Me, Crawford, because he's undisputed in 2 weight classes.
3 weight.
And,
oh yeah, two weight classes undisputed.
And I don't believe there's anyone 1 weight class up, 1 weight class down that beats him right now.
What about Ezekiel Brinsley Brook? Is he going to come back? Kell Brook, is he going to come back 40-3? Because Flex is trying to G him up into a comeback. Is there a comeback in Kell Brook? Yes or no?
Yes, but at middleweight and against Eubank Jr. I don't think he can go again. I don't think he can fight anyone under 30. I wouldn't want him to fight anyone under 30.
Wouldn't you?
Nah, he can only fight 80s babies now.
Yeah. And so, well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. So, what, lads that are born in late 80s?
Yeah, mid to late 80s.
Or early 80s, if he can get away with it. Somebody about 42. You know, when I look at Kell Brook's record, though, Terry, right? I know he fought Crawford, didn't he, in 2020.
Yeah.
Then he were out at ring a couple of years. Then, it's 2 years since he fought Amir Khan. You know, when Fury fights Usyk, that's 2 years since that weekend, since he fought Khan. So even if he does come back, Kell, and it's about June, he'll be like pushing 2.5 years out again. Yeah, you can get down to a weight like 154 and look good, but are you the same person as a fighter, or are you just there to pick some money up for yourself and your trainer?
But I don't want him to be the same person. For example, Russ, you're not the same guy you were in 1995, are you?
No, because when I got gym, I can't do half as what I did then.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I can, and then next day I can't go up.
Yeah. So we have to just adjust our expectations accordingly. Like, I'll give you an example. So I watched the James Toney versus Donovan Razor Ruddock fight, right?
Oh, God.
The exhibition. Oh. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But you know why I enjoyed it, Russ?
Why?
Because it was 2 old men, and I was like, they don't have the power to knock each other out. And it was like, I don't know if you, like, sometimes when you go into the gym, you see some of the old heads sparring, right? Just in general, it might be just 2 cab drivers just going at it for about 4 rounds. And I love the fact that they've never stopped doing it. And it was the same with Tony. I was like, I wouldn't want to see Tony fight a young gun because I think that would be embarrassing. But I do like him fighting someone like Razor Ruddock. I was like, this is just fun. It was enjoyable to watch. And it was nice because you could see Tony still has the old instincts, the way he goes to the body. It's all slower now, but the thought process is still there. I was like, okay, you can learn more from that fight than you can from a modern day fight. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Wilder against Parker, Terry. What do you really think of that fight?
Icing on the cake, mate. It is just an icing. That's all it is.
Do you know when he was telling people about his power and this and that and what he does to guys and why they don't take fights against him? It was quite chilling how he was telling the story, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to hurt them, but it's just what we do.
Yeah, I could see. He ain't bothered, is he? Wilder.
That's a hard man. Wilder's a hard man. Because you can't even say, oh, he's a guy that never gets up off the canvas, because he does.
Yeah, he does.
This is a hard man. He's a hard man. I'm a big fan. I maintain that if someone said to me, you got to put one of them in the Hall of Fame, you have to choose between Fury and Wilder, I'd always pick Wilder.
You know, a Hall of Fame career, Terry, you know, somebody who gets in Hall of Fame. How many times do you think that that person can say he's a defensive genius if he's been down all them times? For example, we keep hearing Fury as this defensive genius. He's been down 7 times, but we keep hearing Floyd Mayweather, who's had about 15 fights more than Fury. He's a defensive genius, and he's never been down, has he?
No.
So why is Fury a defensive genius, and he's been down by Pycek, Cunningham, 4 times Wilder and Garno, 7 times out 35 fights. That's once every 5 fights he's down on the deck. And Joshua's had 29 fights. He's been down 6 times. So he's down every 5 fights as well. Am I right? So are these the best of the year? Olympic gold down 6 times. Look, Lennox Lewis were down twice. Ward were down twice. Andre Ward, Froch were down twice. It does happen. But come on, 6 and 7 times, you're doing something wrong. What? What? Is that an awkward... Am I out of order mentioning that? I know somebody who said to me, don't say that. It's like you're attacking them, Porky. I said, well, I'm just saying. Fury's this defensive genius who can't get hit. The guy's been down more times than Bambi. What? Am I right? You can have all his trainers in the world, and he was never down when he had Peter Fury as his trainer in corner, not once. So I know Peter only had him for 8 fights, but he never hit the deck once, and Huey's never hit deck on Peter's watch either. So I don't know. I keep hearing defensive genius and don't get it, but you're singing Ngannou nail him. So if Ngannou can hit him, you think Usyk might? You know he will.
Yeah, but if he does, we'll just say a small man beat him.
A small man beat him. Well, that's why he's fighting him. They can only get Fury to fight Usyk because he's a small man. Because if he'd have been an 18-stoner performing like that, he wouldn't have gone anywhere near him. Just like he wouldn't go near Luis Ortiz a few years back. Or what other fight he wouldn't have? Oh, the Vladimir one. He got offered Vladimir in 2012. He didn't want that then. He wanted to wait that another 3-4 years. No, a very cunning, mate, very cunning individual, Tyson Fury. And like I said, he's been navigated through choppy waters and he's had it off. But it's now time to start stepping up. Usyk twice, we want next. Never mind Usyk once, then Ngannou, then Usyk. Usyk twice we want on the trot. And then we want Joshua twice on trot. And then we'll get
I don't. I'm tired, mate. I'm tired of rematches. I want one and done on everything now. I just want one and done.
Why do they have to tie him up with 2 matches and all this? It's just clogging it up, isn't it?
It guarantees money, right? That's the only reason. It's just to lock in money.
Oh, it's quite disappointing. But okay then. We spoke about Wilder and that he'll put Parker on Button Moon. What do you think to Miller against Daniel Dubois? I mean, they've pulled the masterstroke off wheeling Miller out because nobody dare mention drug testing now, dare they? Which is a good thing, but nobody wants to mention it because they don't want to be seen to be negative out there, especially when they're looking at getting millions. Everybody's treading on eggshells. And what I can hear in background is a lot of slurping, mainly from Bricktop and Eddie Hills, the Iceman. Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Right. So Miller versus Dubois, I think it's a good fight. I'm always torn when it comes to Jarrell Miller because one, he's a 2-time drug cheat, so that kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. But he's entertaining when you give him a microphone. Like, you'd watch a Jarrell Miller press conference because he'll have something interesting to say. Now, in terms of what happens in that ring, Jarrell Miller looks like a guy that's just going to bully you, throw a whole load of punches, not give you time to think. And if Dubois starts getting doubts in his mind, it might be a hard fight for him. But if he sticks to his jab, then he can move around Miller. It could be an easy night for him. But if Miller wins that, it's very hard for Joshua to avoid him if he wins that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But I text my man, and he just texted me back. 18 guys he's beat, 15 by KO. World champions, former, current, and future. Terence Crawford.
Who?
Terence Crawford. So me going on about Calzaghe with 10 and Frotch 11, Lennox with 14. He's beat 18 Crawford, so he's definitely number one pound for pound, isn't
he? Look, like I always say, information without context is how a fool would argue. Right? Because if you don't know the context behind information, it looks good or it looks bad.
Yeah, but 18 world champions is beat. It's a lot, isn't it, that?
No, really. Depends on
what? Like, Ray Leonard only beat 7. He's beat 18.
Depends on who. No. It depends on who the world champion is. Gamboa.
Yeah, I understand that. Terry.
No, I don't know if you do though. Right? No. I don't know if you do, because Gamboa was a world champion, but he wasn't a world champion at the weight that he fought Crawford at.
Yeah,
do you see what I'm trying to say?
I understand that, mate. Arthur Abraham, he weren't a world champion at middleweight when he fought Cobra.
Wait. Another example. Kell Brook was a former world champion, right?
Yeah.
But when he fought Crawford, he had both of his eye sockets punched out. Amir Khan was a former world champion. By the time he met Crawford, Canelo had taken his soul. So context is everything. It can't just be 18 world champions or former world champions and 15 by KO.
Yeah, right. Then when Marvin Hagler got hold of Duran, he'd been through mill by the time Hagler got him.
100%, right? But Tommy Hearns hadn't been through the mill by the time Hagler got
John McGarvey hadn't been through mill either when Hagler got hold of him, had he? But he was stepping up a weight.
But that's what I'm saying to you, right? But Mugabe was fresh and he was a nightmare. Tommy Hearns was still relatively fresh and a handful. Yeah. So those sorts of names are what you build your career on. Jumping in the ring with Sugar Ray Leonard, that's what you build your career on.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are names like when Crawford fought Spence, there can be no questions. Anything you're ever going to say about Spence is, did the car accident take something out of him? The truth is, we'll never know.
Well, Floyd Mayweather did all them 20 world champions he beat. I'm not going to say 21 because McGregor weren't a boxing champion. So Mayweather's done 20, hasn't he, right? Now, not all them were top of the game. You know, Arturo Gatti weren't. He beat him, and some of them. He beat that Genero Hernandez for his first world title, but he really on slide, wasn't he? Even though he was at the top of his game at the time, he'd seen better days.
Yeah, but wait. But this is why context is important, Russ, because Floyd was like 21 when he beat that Genaro Hernandez.
Yeah.
21. In this country, he'd still be doing the ABAs.
Yeah, I understand that. But like I said, so if Crawford gets 3 more decent wins, is his CV better than Mayweather's? Or would he have beat Mayweather?
No, that's a crazy question to ask. That's a crazy question to ask, Russ, man.
I understand. I'm more or less saying it because I know answer that sometimes statistics isn't the be and end all, is it?
How many people? Oh, no. So there are guys that Mayweather fought who will be in the Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Cotto will be in there, Ricky Hatton, De La Hoya. That's 3, isn't it, for starters?
Yeah. And of those, like, a lot of them carried on and had good careers. Cotto still had a good career, became middleweight champ, if you remember.
Yeah. Gatti's in Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Canelo went on to have a great career afterwards. Pacquiao went on to have another stellar career after Mayweather.
Yeah.
So my point is, so for me, context is everything. Like, who did you fight? Where were they at? What was the result? In that order for me.
It's a bit like somebody rubbishing that John Pascal win to me, saying it was a vacant belt and he'd done no, but look what he went on to do.
I think the Pascal win's really good because Jean Pascal was no joke. Someone in the comments is going to go, yeah, but he's a drug cheat, right? Someone's going to say that in the comments. Just be prepared
Dawson,
for that.
Didn't he, next fight? And then Diacono took their O's. They were pound for pound.
Yeah. Yeah. Mate, like, whenever people tell me about he beat this many people, I'm always like, let's look at the record. Mayweather
Yeah.
Mayweather beat people easily that people struggled with afterwards. That's the greatest honor I can give Floyd. He beat people easily that others struggled with afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I just think Crawford's 18 world champions and 15 of them put him on button moon. So he's up there, but he can only beat who's in front of him in his era, can't he, Terry? He can't go out and fight De La Hoya, can he? Or Hatton.
Yeah, but at some point you got to stop pulling people up weight classes. Right?
Yeah, he's going to have to fight somebody in his own weight class soon. Boots Anus would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Right. Because you got to think, well, Crawford's natural weight is somewhere between welter and junior welter, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Yuriorkis Gamboa, his natural weight's probably somewhere between featherweight and super feather. So you're pulling people up to improve your record. I'm not sure if you did the same with Delorme and Lundy. They may have been pulled up as well. Benavidez, I'd argue, been pulled up, but he may have been a natural welter his whole life. Well, you can, not that you can poke holes, but there's a lot of stuff in Crawford's career where he just had to get fights to pay the bills because others wouldn't fight him. And so I don't think it's a Crawford problem. I think it's more for Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and those sorts of guys to tell us, why didn't you fight Crawford?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Chris Burns. Oh my God, left here 7 minutes. Chris Burns has said to me, December 23rd, they said they're going to sue Usyk if he don't fight. That's what Tyson said. And but now that they're not fighting, is Tyson going to get sued? Oh, obviously, just keep date up, honey. 23rd. What do you think?
They've signed the fight. I think they're going to fight, and let's just get it done because I'm bored of Undisputed. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't cared about Undisputed for a long time in any weight class. Just get people fighting people.
Yeah. All right. We got cut off earlier. What we were discussing. People who have plenty to say in comment section and emails. Look, just send me your phone number and we'll chat on video. Because every time I ask anybody for the number, oh, just give me a ring and we'll sort it. They tell me I'm a great guy. They go missing when it's time for a Zoom. What's all that about? They've been commenting on here years, some of them. You ask them to do a Zoom, Terry, what's going on? They go AWOL.
I just don't read the comment sections anymore.
I know. I think I should sack comment section off. It's pretty drab, isn't
it? I feel bad because there's some people who I imagine speak from a place of kindness and warmth and friendliness, right?
Yeah.
But then you get the basement dwellers. You know, the people who you're almost like, mate, you're really just going to jump in the comment section to be a dick and then jump off again. Why? Like just go about your day, man. Go and make people happy. Don't bring people down, man. Spend your life lifting people up.
They're like we do on here.
But I try to. Where I can, I try to.
I hate boxing at the moment. I hate it with a passion at the moment. Till I get the fights I want, I'm a right bad-tempered little sod. I just want to see some good fights, man. I mean, if this Usyk Fury doesn't happen for me, Terry, I'm seriously going to question what I'm doing here with this because we can't keep being told, oh, it's further down the line, or there's always a problem with this nonsense. So we waste so much energy on it. You know, it's like people I speak to now that are to Russ. Just tell me about it when after weigh-in, will you? Let's talk after weigh-in. They say, well, Porky, what's happening? What's going on with boxing? And as soon as I start, they go, tell me after weigh-in. I think, well, why ask?
Man, I'm where, I tell you what, mentally, I'm kind of where Julian McGowan is when it comes to
what?
pro
You don't
boxing.
want to come on my channel no more because he hates boxing.
I see where Julian's coming from because I'm like, what's there to look forward to? We're not producing good kids here. Like the standard of boxing, anytime I talk to a coach in any of the regions in this country, kids are soft now. No one's having a fight. You know, they just mentally weak. Your kids crying and they're scared. And I'm like, so where's the future talent going to come from? We're going to struggle. There's nothing to look forward to in the pipeline. If you look at it from a GB perspective, no one even cares about Team GB anymore. You know, we just don't care. And the pros, Jesus, man, like, what an absolute mess that is. So I get where Julian's coming from. Listen, if he needs someone to help out in his business, man, I'm going to send my CV over. That's what we're going to do. Just work together and talk boxing.
He's got a good job, Julian. I think he's some big head honcho or some greeting card company.
Hey, if he needs a hand, mate,
You wouldn't think there'd be any money in them greeting cards, would you? But apparently,
oh yeah,
big.
well, because you've always got to buy cards, right? Well, think about it. In the next few weeks, you'll be selling a whole load of cards, right?
Yeah, Christmas
and then
cards.
Yeah, then you're straight into next year. There'll be January birthdays, February birthdays, Valentine's Day, March birthdays, April Easter cards. Then we get into May and it's wedding season and it's christening season and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Birthdays, Easter, all that nonsense.
Yeah,
Mother's Day, Father's Day is always close together, isn't it?
Yeah. So I imagine it's one of those industries, right, that churns over a lot of cash, and it's probably got quite a healthy margin. Well, I hope it does, because like even with card designs nowadays, because you can print on demand, Russ, like they'll just kick up some templates. Look, design your own card, put your own pictures in. It goes down into the machine, gets printed off, gets folded up, put in the envelope, done. Man, the margins must be so sweet in the greeting card business. Man. I'm jealous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Ray.
You've got all that pressure on in a bank there with people screaming at you every 2 minutes. Because we all know what you people do. People give you piles of money, you lose it, and then go, well, you're not going to gamble. You sound like Dennis when people go, Dennis, I can't believe that show's not made any money. I've lost my dough. Dennis will go, well, you know what, we're a gamble. We're still pals, aren't we? He's my pal. Dennis, you can't do that to him. I can. He's my pal.
Yeah. Hey, are you off to the Cayman Islands as well?
That's where Dennis goes, isn't it? Cayman Islands or Jersey, because they don't pay tax, do they, there?
No, but he's doing a show in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, he's doing one at Cayman Islands, I've been told, yeah. It's
You're not going?
I'm not going. I know the guy who will be putting it. No, 2 seconds, I'll give you his name. I've got his name on a hat, I think. Somewhere. He's actually all right. I've interviewed him on my channel. Ocean Palm Homes, I think it is. Oh, here we are. Orchid Palm Homes, Cayman Islands. He's from him who owns it. It's from Canvey Island, an Essex boy. He's actually all right, actually. He's actually all right. It's called Steve. So, yeah, good luck to Dennis if he's putting that on out there. He just hates paying tax, doesn't he, Big Ron?
Does anyone like paying tax?
Big Ron don't pay tax, does he?
Because he's not here for
tax to him, though. But yeah, it's all good stuff. So I don't know what he's gonna do. But Anna Rankin, did you see Steffi Bull's tweet? Anna Rankin needs a new trainer. He's put.
What? But why?
I don't know. It's on his Twitter. Somebody sent me it earlier.
I mean, like, whatever you think about Noel Callan, he's had it from the start, man. And I remember seeing her at the start to where she is now. He's done a decent job.
She's still going to stay with him, isn't she?
I hope she does. I think it'll be a good advert. A lot of times, people need to just realize maybe that's just your natural level.
Do you want to do a part 3, Terry?
All right, mate. If you're asking.
Go on, then we'll do a part 3. Pop, bang. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. We'll see you on part 3 in 2 minutes.